It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
Yeah, success pending from the moment I wake. These tastemakers still blocking, so I'm flooding the gates. I study the greats, watch my environment, understanding assignment, divinity, striving for early retirement. I'm focused. Nobody showed me how to get it, so I got myself. Built the rotation like a timing belt. I used to really want plaques, the fame chasing, had us breaking our backs. They advertise everything that we lack. My dog Chino kept the heat in the slacks. Sound crazy, the generation of crack babies. The late 80s and early 90s when it was grimy. That's what designed me to find me. Didn't have no Abercrombie, too broke to have a hobby. Food desert Mojave. Stop on them ramen noodles. Them kids nappy on them perks. You gotta check they pupils. Popping on IG with school IDs. Can't tell them nothing till they hook the IVs. I've been crossing my T's, dotting my I's. Watching online, the money coming, just a sign of the times. I put in years though. Rappers flipping bars that I created from years ago. I just can't feel them like doctors refusing physicals. Whoa, I shattered their dreams and gluing back together. This is Kyrie verse. Kimber, you act like y'all don't remember how 97 the Netflix. Patreon on my guest list. I don't speak to the check it. I'm devising my exit.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Happy Sunday to y'all, man. Hope everybody's doing well this afternoon. In this particular video, we're going to be talking about the Joe Budden podcast on a couple different fronts. Number one, we're going to be getting into Joe Budden somewhat extending the olive branch to Rory from the Rory and Maul podcast. I know they came from Joe Budden. He didn't shout out Maul, but he did extend somewhat of an olive branch to Rory by playing one of his new songs. Of course, Rory, behind the scenes, works in the music industry. He does like some A&Ring and stuff, and he also puts together his own projects, right? So every now and then he'll drop a single with an artist, drop an album here and there, and that's kind of like his passion project or what have you, because he used to work at labels back in the day. So he's got a record with Leon Thomas. Joe Budden previously shouted it out a few episodes ago on the pod, and he said that he was going to play it on the next episode. He kept his word and followed up and played it and said the record was dope. And they ended up entertaining the idea of what it would look like to conduct a podcast trade, right? What it would look like to trade one or multiple members of the current Joe Budden podcast in return for Rory to bring him back. Now, of course, this isn't something that is like a serious conversation. This is not something that would ever really happen in real life. Clearly, Rory and Maul have their own thing. They have their own business structure. They have their own deals. So that would be, this isn't the NBA. This isn't the NFL. This isn't sports. But they entertain the conversation because this is actually something that people within the Joe Budden community online have been talking about. And they really feel like Joe Budden, in his heart of hearts, would love to have Rory back, right? Because out of the other co-hosts that are on the show in its current iteration, he's probably the only person that really is kind of well-versed in all of the topics. Now, there are some topics that he just can't speak on. Women. I don't know why every time they talk about women, he feels like he needs to talk about escorts and bottle girls and all of that type of stuff. I mean, they are women. They are a part of the community, but they are not the majority or the voice of women, right? So stuff like that, he loses me. When they talk about politics or talk about economics and stuff like that, it could go either way, but most of them are too disconnected from, regular people in regular life, middle class life, to really talk about that stuff either with any, intelligence or any authority. But nonetheless, when it comes to music-based topics, I think that Rory is a good counterpart to Joe. That was part of the success of the show to begin with when he was over there. So we're going to get into that. And then we're also going to get into the Joe Budden podcast reaction to the new J. Cole record, Clouds, which I really enjoyed. Unfortunately, it just seems like there's an uphill battle for J. Cole at this current point. as far as online, the YouTube community, and just the online perception of J. Cole. I think J. Cole is good with his fans and his people. I think if he were to drop an album tomorrow, it would still be very successful. If he were to announce a tour tomorrow, it would still be very successful. But it would only be for his core, his people that have been following and rocking with him for the entirety of his career, which is like the same folks, which is nothing wrong with that. It's still a massive group. But I don't know if Cole is going to win back people that, went the other way ever since the battle and everything else has transpired. It seems like the elasticity of forgiveness for Cole just isn't stretching very far. But on the Joe Budden podcast, they fucked with it, and I'm going to play their assessment of how everything has, played out with this new record, Clouds. But first, let's get into the Rory talk.
I am a man of my word, so I am playing brand new Rory featuring Leon Thomas.
Oh, wow.
As a head nod for our 10-year anniversary. I feel like it's the least I can do. And this record is called Who Are You? And what do you mean, oh wow, nigga?
It's very mature of you. I'm very proud of you.
I'm mature.
Always. You my guy.
I'm mature. Oh wow, I'm making it. All right, this record is called Who Are You Anyway, featuring Leon Thomas.
New Joe Budden.
There's mad niggas in the comments like, yo, you would do like an easy two-man trade for Rory right now.
Is that in the comments?
You would dump up after. Never mind.
You think that's funny?
A little bit.
You try to get it. You try to put.
Yeah, hold up for a minute. What you trying to say up here?
Nah, niggas is saying like, yo, they would easily like the.
But if you was the GM.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
Oh.
I wouldn't do that. I think the team that he's doing is dope. What he's doing is dope, and I think this team here is dope.
Well, you can still do all that.
Niggas, never mind. Go ahead.
Who would you trade?
Who would I trade?
You would trade Mel for real?
Oh, come on. I would see if we can just do a like cash considerations and shit.
For Rory?
You got to trade.
You brought up a great topic and now you're being pussy about it.
Don't step on it.
Go ahead.
Don't step on it.
I know how I'm gonna trade. Me and you, nigga.
And go over there?
Nah, I go over there with just.
But that's the trade. You would have to go over there.
Oh, nah, salute. Nah, yeah, me and you.
Go over there?
Yeah. Let Rory come over here. Let this shit be the dream team, nigga.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
I'm not being funny. No,
I see
I'm
what
for.
you're doing, man.
I'm not being funny.
What you think we get the chip over there too though?
Crazy. Me? Nigga, I'm going damn, nigga. I think only 1 year though. The rest will be washed. The first year at Landon.
Niggas gonna have to put together a package.
A little package dip?
Oh, no.
For Flip? For that?
You Flip, a couple second rounders, Daisy.
For that roars, right?
Nah, I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
I ain't saying nothing. You trying to get me
Y'all
in the
silly as hell,
blogs. You
yo.
trying to get me in the blogs. Nope. Shout out to Rory. Project on the way.
Salute,
That's
salute.
all I got for you, man. If we speaking on NBA terms,
I'll fuck you
I
up.
would like to keep Ish.
Okay. Any waivers you picking up?
He's my 3.
Okay.
He's my starting small forward. I think I could send over a doable package and keep him to the side.
Ish really could go. Since we entertaining this conversation, Ish can go. You know what I'm saying? I know they have a good dynamic. I know they probably have been friends the longest out of everybody on the podcast, him and Ish. They have the most history. And that's cool for nostalgia purposes and, the occasional viral outbursts and stuff like that. But Ish really can go. I don't think he really adds anything of significance on his own without Joe, which is why if he's ever there on Patreon episodes without Joe or during that time period when Joe was gone due to his, court situation, Ish don't bring nothing. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't have a fresh perspective. He's just a homie collecting a check. You know what I mean? Because Joe brought him and Ice in when the podcast was pivoting and trying to figure out the future. I think they've served their purpose in tandem with Joe, because he, love him or hate him, he's the voice, he's the face, and he brings you know, the electricity to the show. Everybody else is really expendable in my personal opinion, but I'll let him continue.
So let's continue.
Nah,
to
you gotta
build.
give up. No. You gotta give up. You gotta give up. Mello, it's gotta go.
No, I'm letting go of you and Flip already. Then that's the big deal to me.
So who's your
That,
1, 2?
that takes a large Flip leaving
Who's your 1, 2, and 3?
without Surf being home.
Who's your 1, 2, and 3?
Impacts things.
Flip can certainly go. You know what I'm saying? I think Flip, as far as like, he holds a lot of value. I don't like Flip. I don't enjoy Flip. I'm not entertained by Flip, but there's a lot of people that are entertained by Flip. Flip has created businesses, podcasts, content on his own, built his own following, still does his own thing outside of the Joe Budden podcast. I don't enjoy what he creates, but there is an open lane for him to thrive. He makes his own money outside of the Joe Budden podcast. So in terms of overall value, without taking into account my personal opinion, he is a valuable asset, especially if you're trading, because you want to trade for equal or greater value when you trade somebody. So I'm cool with Flip going too. I think he could really trade the entire everybody you see on the show today, and him and Rory would figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And add a third, and they be straight. But let's keep going.
We're gonna ship you and Flip out with Tanner.
Wait, Tanner going?
With Tanner and Daisy. Cash considerations.
Yeah.
And a future first.
For Rory.
Prime Rory.
Now, if I'm numb, I need Mella-ish.
As much as it's gonna hurt me.
Joe.
Melkin. What? You my 3. Man, would you shut the fuck up?
I
and
didn't
let me
say
do
a
my
word.
trick?
That was Ian, nigga.
Shut up, Ian.
All right. Look,
As much as this is gonna hurt the broadcast.
Pardon me for snitching.
no, you good.
So you
Man.
sending Mel,
Mel, Flip, you, Tanner, cash considerations, and a
and a future first round? That's
for
Rory.
Prime
for Prime Rory.
damn.
Rory.
It's like
And
18,
then
19.
who am I left with? I'm left with me, Parks,
Mm-hmm.
Ish, Ice, Prime Rory, and Dr. fucking Mark Lamont. There you think this
That's not bad.
You can send Mark too. I don't hate Mark, by the way. When I say I don't care for him, I don't hate homie. I just don't think he is good at what he does. I think he has a perspective. I like that he backs up Melissa Ford. So when the guys get a little bit too overzealous on like dogpiling on Melissa Ford, when he's present in the room, he'll take attention off of them just focusing on her, and he'll kind of basically back her up. And then the arguments that they're having with her, he can kind of take some of the weight off. I think he's significant in that aspect because he at least has a sensitivity to the feminine nature and women's point of view, which I think does create value in the space. But overall, for as educated as Mark Lamont Hill is, I don't think he's genuine. I think maybe that's where it is. It's like, and some of the conversations they've had on the Joe Budden show have affected how I see him. I think he's carefully crafted a persona that's made him palatable to numerous spaces, right? So he could be like an NAACP nigga. He's palatable to the white folks, you know, and he's palatable to, educated blacks and stuff like that. But I don't know if any of this actually identifies with who he is at his core. You know what I'm saying? It's just a carefully crafted, curated persona. And every now and then it cracks and you see like, oh, he's really not that guy. But then he snaps back into it. I think that's my problem with Mark, right? But he can go. He can definitely go. Especially in the sphere of like hip hop conversation, hip hop culture conversation. I don't feel like that's his area, right? But for him, that's never been what he thrived in anyway.
Ain't gonna lie, that's not bad. That's lit.
That's a nice lineup.
Yo, don't get it fucked up. Listen, we'll get it done. We'll get it done on the other side.
I want you to.
We'll get it done.
I would want you to, though.
You gotta see us in the finals.
When niggas leave,
would you hire Julia?
when niggas leave here, I want niggas to fucking
wait.
flourish and progress.
You don't think you would have to see us in the finals? Me, Flip, Mel,
Julia.
Hold on. Chill out.
You gotta go pick up Julia.
Chill out.
Y'all being messy.
Corey, chill out.
Y'all being messy. All right.
That's crazy.
Corey, you're not on this podcast. You shut up.
And then you think we ain't gonna pick up? You picking up Jay Wan and Julian off waivers? Come on, Nick.
As much as that's gonna hurt. Jay Wan I would try to keep. Just because it's a lot. They're asking for a lot.
See?
Damn, man, how would the show turn out, man, if it was just me, Parks, Ice, Ish, and Dr. Mark Lamont here with Prime?
His Patreon number is crazy.
You gotta think about that one, right?
I ain't gonna. I'm gonna let you.
I
know
gotta
this
sleep
one.
on that. That's like the Luca.
I'm
That's
calling
like the Luca trade.
Nigga, I will call AG.
I ain't gonna lie. This is actually becoming an interesting conversation because who's to say that in the next 5-10 years, as podcasts continue to grow, as more celebrities continue to cultivate podcasts and actually get comfortable in their seats as podcast hosts, get the deals that they want and stuff like that. Because remember, a couple years ago, everybody was starting a pod. But a lot of people tapped out. A lot of people didn't want to continue investing into it. But those that have actually continued and kept their head down and like found a passion within it have been pretty successful. But at a certain point, I think there could come a day where we start actually seeing trades happening between podcasts. Because you already get some instances where people will leave one show, then start filling in on another, doing guest appearances, and, based on their schedule, they start becoming a recurring guest, and it's like, oh, you really part of the show now. We've seen that with Chad Ochocinco, right? We've seen him go from I Am Athlete to he served a little piece at the Pivot early on. He was there for a couple episodes. Next thing you know, he kind of pulled back from both situations, although he played both sides for a minute. Next thing you know, he popped out with Shannon Sharp. Then they started doing Nightcap. So it's not too far-fetched to think that trades could start happening. Prior, it was just people resigning from their post and then getting in where they fit in. But if they start formally trading motherfuckers and being like, hey, you accept this person within their contract to carry out the rest of their contract, man, that would be some interesting shit. Shit, boy, that's gonna fuck sports all the way up. A lot of people are already complaining about the NFL. The NBA, saying it's not entertaining and as it used to be. All-Star Weekend and shit like that. Motherfuckers start getting in on negotiations and trades and putting up statistics in terms of podcasts. Complex is already doing yearly damn near twice a year updates on content creators, right? Who's the top creators of the year, top 30s and shit like that, but they dropping them like twice a year now. It used to just be once. Could be a very interesting future in the space. And then you start taking YouTube and people like myself and others like independent creators and saying, hey, where would they fit in on our show? Maybe they could be a correspondent of some sort, and you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers start getting past. I like what I do. But you could see it happen. You know, I've had a couple folks put my name in the hat over there at Complex, like, yo, y'all need to fuck with J Nolan. Y'all need to fuck with J Nolan. Hey, Complex gonna have to speak very complex if that's what it's gonna be. You can't come to me with some simple shit now. Let's speak with some complexity. But let's get to the J. Cole Clouds record and how they received that. All right, because I kind of agreed with some of what they saying, but then they took it somewhere that I'm like, I don't know.
Oh man, shouts to Cole.
That shit is amazing.
Hey, yo, we as a people,
Yeah,
we're
you
so
lucky.
like we're so fickle.
Wait, hold up for a minute. Who lucky?
Go ahead, yo.
Lucky?
Put your ego back in your pocket,
I
yo.
just didn't know who you was talking to.
Hey, are you?
Lucky how? Well, I am. My God is good.
You lucky you retired. He's saying.
Yeah.
You lucky you're not out right now. While that man is out right now rapping like that, he's saying.
You don't even get none of these niggas without a Joe Budden. You know who the fuck you talking to? You know who you talking to?
I mean, he did big you up several times
You know who
during
you
his
talking to?
Might be.
podcast show.
Fix your fucking mouth. You sit next to a fucking legend every week.
Melissa. Oh, shit.
That was what you saying, my brother?
Don't touch me. I was saying that I was happy that we're able to clean it up and give him his credit because he did get his.
I will say, a lot of people, Joe Budden, he catches a lot of flack, and a lot of it is also justified, to be clear. But Joe Budden, the rapper, was a fucking animal. I didn't really like Joe in Slaughterhouse. I think he was out of place in Slaughterhouse. As a more introspective rapper, like he could get on radio freestyles and like body shit line for line, bar for bar. He could do that on, the within the entirety of a mood music tape or whatever. But that wasn't his bag. His bag was really more introspective, talk about life, rap shit, and in the midst of that, he was gonna give you bars, right? And if you look at the trajectory of some of the guys in hip hop, like he was one of the early ones to do that. And a lot of the guys that came after that kind of adapted to the mold. Now, he wasn't the only, but as they just said, Cole shouted him out multiple times on the Inevitable show about the influence. Everybody should know Drake looked up to Joe Budden. There's literal video of him like just giving him all the praises in the world early on in his career at a time where he didn't have to. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick even has early videos shouting out Joe Budden in some capacity. You get what I'm saying? Because again, he was an early adopter to making introspective music. He was an early adopter to, I'm signed to a label, but I want to be independent and put out mixtapes and build a career off of mixtapes. A lot of people, when they were doing their mixtapes, that was like their, this is my business, this is my resume. You know what I'm saying? People were trying to put out mixtapes in order to get deals with the majors. In Joe's case, it was reverse engineering. It was like, I don't want to be with y'all niggas. I'd rather put out mixtapes and tour off of that and get my money off of hand-to-hand sales, set up a website, and just clear out my Ethernet. You know what I'm saying? Clear out my hard drive through the motherfucking Ethernet and just send this shit out. And that ended up creating the blog era, or actually kind of like leading into the blog era, which a lot of the artists that we grew to love over the years spawned from that. So he ain't lying when he says you wouldn't have these guys without him. I think he overestimates himself a little bit, but I also think it's justified that he does, because if you take him out of the equation, how many other artists that were signed to major labels took that route and were able to do it as successfully? Because a lot of the people that were on Joe's level, where are they at today?
kicked in.
He's still getting.
I mean, niggas was making fun of him, but he's able to stay poised, stay to himself.
True to himself, too.
I don't care about that shit no more.
And then he was able to just put out quality music. Like, this is quality.
Time heals all.
Time heals all.
You so phony. You phony.
I say it every week on this pod. I'm phony.
phony.
Listen, do you want? Should I give a mature Joe, or are we doing shit in the spirit of hip hop? The MC in me and in the spirit of hip hop, I didn't want to hear that shit. The man in me absolutely loves it.
Got you.
Absolutely loves it.
Got it.
And I think he's happy with the choice he made.
Yeah.
By far, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nigga, girl came out and was getting that joke. Oh, yo.
Nigga, J. Cole played for the fucking Shanghai Sharks. What the fuck?
The Nigerian Nightmares.
The Lisbon Lions.
Y'all know who J. Cole is, man.
Nah, he bigger
that
than
nigga was hitting the corner
Big him up.
baseline 3 for the Lisbon Lions.
Big him up, my nigga.
I always pick J. Cole up.
Of course, yeah.
Well, I think I do. If I had to opt to have a problem with a rapper, it wouldn't be J. Cole.
Yeah, no.
Nah.
I threw you back down from no one.
That's not the name that you would want to pick out of the hat. I mean, I'll do it, but
That's a headache.
yeah, it's a long day.
And of course, they're speaking hypothetically here on paper, J. Cole, because clearly J. Cole ain't built for lyrical warfare, which is cool. I'm not tripping off of that. You know what I mean? Honestly, I think J. Cole is a dope rapper. He makes good music, and he's going to continue to offer it to his fans, and those that are into him are going to rock with him. Everybody doesn't have to be this lyrical warrior, you know what I'm saying? And as much as people like to harken back to the 2000s and the 90s and everything, there was still plenty of great rappers that were out that had great music and had good lives that never had to battle on record. Maybe they battled, prior. Maybe they battled at the clubs and got into ciphers and were competitive in nature. But not every great rapper has had an iconic battle to their name. So I do have to defend J. Cole in that aspect, but as it pertains to what Joe is saying here about, that ain't the name you would want to pick out, I would have to disagree. I think today, if people were to pick somebody out, they would look at J. Cole. I mean, look at what Freddie Gibbs is out here doing. Freddie Gibbs is out here poking J. Cole, right? He's saying, hey, he keep talking about bodying rappers, but he backed out of a rap beef. He put it out on a Finsta page. Do I think that's fly of Freddie Gibbs to do? No. But nonetheless, he's poking at J. Cole because he knows he can. And that's the position that Cole put himself in terms of the gladiator sport aspect of it. But in terms of just his artistry, his lyrical ability, his ability to connect with his fans and serve them with what they've been asking for over a decade, I don't think he's been moved from that spot. It's just that, again, the overall perception of J. Cole has certainly weakened. His popularity score has decreased.
Ruined your day. It ruined your day, not his.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Got you.
I would love to see y'all be a rapper just for a day. But
I
like a
said
trouble,
that-
they ain't.
He may down the
Like,
line.
we don't know.
Yeah,
You might
you're
just
right.
be early with that.
You might be right.
So this could be the early, hey, you cannot download this. He might double back with full-length vinyls, the new artwork. He might go do some artsy shit. It's cold.
I would love to see Cole or anybody of this magnitude be like, no, you have to go to my website and buy this, or
That's
you have to
fire.
buy a record, or you have to
That's
buy a
fire.
CD or a
That's
tape or
fire.
whatever the fuck format you want to give it to us in.
That's fire.
I would love to see that.
That's what.
That's not gonna happen. My Cloud's reaction got halted. You know what I'm saying? Just because it was a slow build, and as the slow build started to pick up, I then got a content claim from UMG. And they said, no, sir. Yeah, we know Cole ain't put this out officially. Doesn't matter. It's getting content claimed. Blocked. So then I had to let YouTube scrub it out of my video. So clearly that Clouds record, I don't know if it's coming out. maybe it drops in the near future on streaming platforms, or if it's just one of those situations where UMG is like really putting the hammer down, like, hey, this ain't 2024 no more. Y'all niggas had y'all fun. Y'all dropped y'all songs on Instagram. Y'all dropped y'all songs on YouTube. Y'all allowed content creators to get their shit off and not get the copyright claims for whatever amount of time. But we got this active lawsuit with this clown ass nigga over here. The fun is over. Blame your boy. You know what I'm saying? Because Cole didn't upload this song nowhere but on his website. Niggas started reviewing it. Next thing you know, nigga got the notification in my email. I'm like, damn, son. How you gonna rap it like that, son? So I don't see any future where J. Cole is gonna be dropping music exclusively on his website in that fashion. He did, however, do the inevitable drops for 2014 Forest Hills Drive, where his fans were able to order the vinyls of that album through his website because it was already released through the label. It's already been funneled through everything like that. But I don't think there's going to be a day where new music comes out exclusively from J. Cole, where he's cutting out the label, unless he first fulfills his contract and goes independent. But it seems that when these artists of note, you know, they get towards the end of those contracts and start facing whether or not they want to try their hand on their own, the money just talks too loud. It's like, shit, man, I'm finna take this bread. I'm gonna own it. Y'all can house it. I'll still be able to do what I want. I have the financial freedom for my family. I would love to go independent, but this is as independent as I can get while still maintaining the level of, you know, finance that I want to bring in. So I think that's the only thing that holds back. Because I think, honestly, these three men that we see in this photo, I think if all three of them were to say, fuck the UMG structure and literally just put the music out, I think all three of them would have success. Now, that would be varying levels of success based on public perception and support. But I don't think they would completely fall off. I don't think they would fall, into obscurity. I think they would still be three of the top artists in the game. And hopefully one day we get to see it before they all move out of, you know, the spotlight. But we'll see.
Kanye's been doing.
Yeah, for sure. In my opinion, the music that we've gotten from Kanye in this era has not been. This is a good J. Cole song. Mm-hmm. The Kanye songs that we've gotten as he's been independent are not this in comparison to the rest of his catalog. This is on par with anything J. Cole has ever done, in my opinion. The Kanye stuff that he's doing completely independent, in my opinion, is not Graduation or anything else.
Got it. Cole made out really good out of that whole Big Three shit.
He did.
I know he got his back kicked in a bunch.
Yeah.
I maybe have even said this before, but with every release, and I just hear his tone and how he goes about things, it's clear that not only did he not want to end up being the Drake in that battle, like the person who caught the worst end of the stick, I don't think he wanted to end up being the Kendrick in that battle either, which is the winner and having to run all around and having this be demanded of you and just, I think he landed in the perfect spot.
Bro.
Gotta disagree with that. Because regardless of the expectation that's being placed on Kendrick, Kendrick is running his race. Kendrick is literally doing whatever he had already set out to do. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if, based on his own confidence and the level of strategy that him and Dave Free put into everything that they do, that the last, let's just say 12 months wasn't already premeditated. Now, it may not have gone exactly as planned in certain areas where you have to pivot, you have to change some things. But I think, honestly, when Like That came out and he made the statement that he made, I think he already had said, all right, if it goes this way, this is what the next 2 years looks like. If it goes this way, this is what the next 2 years looks like. And if it goes this way, this is what the next 2 years looks like. Now, in that, again, he couldn't have predicted the debates over the Super Bowl. Who knows if the Super Bowl was like already on the table or if it came at a later time. Right? Who knows what songs he was going to make, you know, to actually respond to what was going to happen in real time. I don't think any of that was premeditated, but I think he understood, oh, y'all think I don't come outside. As y'all can see, the whole GNX theme is him getting in this fucking car and sliding for the next, you know what I'm saying, for the foreseeable future. And when he's ready to put the car back, he's going to put the fucking tarp on that bitch and he'll be on to the next phase. But I think the whole idea of this GNX thing is I'm in this whip. It's a one-on-one, you know what I'm saying? I'm outside. I'm on some pro-black shit, but I'm also on some dark shit right now. Still got the light in me. But y'all, this the nigga that y'all wanted to play with. I'm gonna let y'all get that for a minute. So y'all never ever play with my name again. And that's what he's come out and proven. So to say that Cole has landed in the ideal spot, nah, he hasn't. He hasn't. And for all the reasons that I've already discussed in this video, shows why he's not in an ideal position. I think his ideal position would have been if he would have stayed quiet, not dropped Port Antonio. The rapping on Port Antonio was still excellent. The rapping on this Clouds record is excellent. But when people felt like he gave, you know, too much encouragement towards Drake, I saw a lot of people back out. Saw a lot of people, you know, that otherwise would have praised the rapping on that song. They said, nah, I can't do it. And in turn, like I said before, his popularity score has decreased. So, no, Kendrick came out the victor. Kendrick came out on top, and Kendrick was prepared for what that top spot looked like. And he's been executing on it. So, nah. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. All right? Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross some out, came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.